Hello, my name is Thomas O'Regan and I'm a professional property investor here in Australia. Me and my wife have 20x'd our property portfolio's growth in the last 4 years. Now, a lot of people are on the fence if they're looking, and this isn't so much investment, this is just general houses versus apartments. A lot of people are on the fence and they have the ability to buy a property, whether it be a house or apartment or whatever, but they think that if they don't have the ability to buy a house, that they shouldn't buy an apartment. And I'll make this very clear. Whether it's a house or an apartment, the property is going to probably, in most circumstances, the property is going to increase faster than your ability to save. Okay? So if you have the ability to buy a house, by all means, buy a house. But if you have the ability only to buy buy an apartment. Why? Because it doesn't matter if it's in a house or in its apartment. In most circumstances, as I said, the value of the property is increasing faster than you can save. So a lot of people think houses grow more than apartments. Yes, in most circumstances, this is true. Why is it true? Because they have a larger land component. Where is the value in property? It's in the land. Yes, the majority of the value is in the land. But the thing that people forget to take into account is even if you're buying an apartment, what is the value of the land that you are buying? For example, if you're buying an apartment very close to a busy area, like it's a very developed area, or a very desirable area, even if your apartment is 50 square meters and the land size is say 1,000 square meters and you only own, just for example, like let's call it 75 square meters of that, you are entitled to 75 square meters of that 1,000 square meters because you own an apartment in that area. What you really need to get the understanding of, what is the actual value of that land? What is, even if you just only own 75 square meters of the land, it's in a desirable area. So what is the value of the land? Because the fact is, land values can significantly increase from area to area, obviously, right? So comparing like a lot of land in an undesirable area may be close to worthless in some circumstances versus even if you have a small piece of land in a very desirable area, it might actually still be worth more than their larger piece of land. What I'm comparing is a house in the middle of nowhere to an apartment in a desirable area. So, okay, so let me explain it in a different way. In the CBD or in Bondi Beach, for example, either one of those places, either one of those locations, the land value per square meter could be $60,000. Okay, so if you're looking at buying a house where the land value is only $500 a square meter, it doesn't really matter if you have larger land, because the person that owns smaller land in that more desirable area is probably, even though they only have a 50 or 10% of the land you have, they've probably got more intrinsic value. The value of the land that they own is higher, even if it's an apartment in a high rise. Look, I'm saying here, you got to do the maths, you got to understand the fundamentals of how much land you own and what it's worth to really understand if there's value in what you're buying. Most circumstances, yes, houses are more intrinsically valued than apartments, but it's not always that way. And I have seen, and in fact, the majority of the apartments I have owned have far outperformed by a factor of 2 to 3 any normal property. And when I say normal property, house that I've owned or seen perform. So think about that, okay? Houses, apartments, doesn't matter. Get the property as quickly as you can. They're going to probably increase in most circumstances faster than you can save. So get what you can right now. See ya.